I'm Chris Jackson, and this is Inside Out. Climbing the Tyne Bridge, as well as hanging off Buckingham Palace, was the hallmark of one of Britain's most controversial pressure groups. But after reports of a plot to kidnap the Prime Minister's son, the group's leader said things had gone too far, and Fathers for Justice would be no more. Tonight, though, we've news of real fathers with a new leader based here on Tyneside. And if their campaign for better access to children hasn't changed, they say their tactics have. Newcastle last December. The winter festival shatters the calm of the city. When the fireworks stop, 4 men arrive at a rooftop car park. They're reconnoitring sites for a demonstration.
On the morning, you'll get a phone call at 6 o'clock in the morning to say it's going ahead. Right? There's other teams already prepared for another 2 targets. So if this one flops, then another team will go up another target. Once the banners are unrolled, make sure they're tied off.
The demonstration is planned to go off in a couple of days' time. They don't realise it, but they're on the brink of weeks of turmoil for their campaign group, Real Fathers for Justice. So what do we know about this group? Real Fathers for Justice claims thousands of supporters all over the country. They say the family court system usually favours mothers when granting access to children. The man I'm about to meet is a serving policeman. He can't be identified. He says his ex-wife, a karate expert, has used violence on him. He's not allowed to join Real Fathers, but he supports their aims. Why? Because Mike says his ex-wife has breached his court order to see his sons more than 20 times. Yet he, a policeman, was the one arrested.
I've seen it happen before. You see a woman, tears streaming down her face, holding a child in her arms, and then a guy there who's saying, I've got a court order, it's not being enforced, full of hell. Somebody's got to lose, and who's going to get it? The police aren't going to want to go and arrest the mother and then have to go to the rigmarole of getting social services out to look after the children, this, that and the other. The easiest option is to remove the father.
And that's what's happened to you?
On numerous occasions.
Mike says the legal battle has left him financially ruined. How many times have you been back to court?
It's well in excess of 40 times now. In the first 2 years, the legal fees alone were in the region of about £40,000, and I ended up having to be made insolvent.
As a policeman, he's against law-breaking. He sympathises with Real Fathers.
The majority of people there aren't anarchists. They're just guys who want to see their kids.
The demonstration is about to happen.
People think you're just, up to silly stunts. You're slightly nuts to be doing this. Are you really proper fathers, even?
I hear a lot of parents say that they'd do anything for the love of their child. So these fathers want to get up and protest over the love for their child. And they want to be able to say to people, look, at the legal system's failing me. Will somebody come along and help us?
I'm supposed to ignore my own children. I passed them in the street, The judge said no direct contact. There's nothing else left open for us to do,
We're following them to some mystery location believed to be in Newcastle, but it's one of 3 locations, so we don't even know exactly what it is they're going to be doing. Such is the secrecy of these operations. The target was Metro Radio.
Sorry, my name's Mike. At the moment, on top of your roof, there's 2 from the campaign group Real Fathers for Justice.
Right.
One's dressed as Santa Claus, the other one's dressed as a snowman.
The demonstration is planned to last 4 days. Real Fathers for Justice say they're not just a campaign for men who want access to their children. They also have support from the opposite sex. My next interviewee can't be identified. She fostered a child and applied to adopt her. The adoption application meant the courts had to choose between the foster mother and the birth mother, a recovering drug addict. Ruth says the court was biased. She had to give up a child she'd cared for 5 years.
It's a national scandal. We're talking about legalised abduction. We have no rights. We can't apply to the courts to get contact. We can't apply to the courts to have her back. We're absolutely nothing in her life anymore. Once a year or thereabouts, we get a letter explaining what they've been doing and how she's growing up.
She says there should be a presumption of 50-50 contact as a starting point, and Real Fathers is on the right track.
They have a serious point, and they are making it in the best way they can. And when it makes front page news, Mr. Blair and the government sit up and listen.
The fathers claim even the Prime Minister once supported their aims.
No one who heard you could have any doubt about your love for your children. You're a very impressive and persuasive campaigner.
The words of Tony Blair in a personal letter sent to an activist less than 18 months ago. He went on to give his view on the state of family law.
We acknowledge that the present system does not work well enough.
But the fathers say government action since then hasn't been enough. The demonstration on top of Metro Radio lasted much longer than planned.
They're in a pretty bad way. I mean, 9 days up on top of a building with no shelter, basic food to eat and water. It's took a toll on them. But these fathers are determined to get the message out.
The demo happened during a pretty quiet time for the fathers, but last month they became worldwide news, and that threatened to derail their campaign.
Militant fathers talked of kidnapping Leo Blair. How serious was their plot?
It was a massive blow, and there were also claims Special Branch had warned Jolly Stainsby and 3 other fathers that they'd be shot if they tried to snatch the child. He says there was no plot to kidnap Leo Blair, and the Special Branch officer he spoke to just gave him a general warning.
He said, repeated what they said before, was we're completely supporting what you do, but we don't want to see anybody get shot.
But did they make the link between this conversation about Leo Blair being kidnapped and...
Not at any time. Not at any time.
As if that wasn't enough, their former leader, Matt O'Connor, also made an announcement.
I will not let this organisation be hijacked or have its name hijacked by extremists. I'd rather shut the thing down.
But that wasn't O'Connor's call. He headed Fathers for Justice. This is Real Fathers for Justice, and O'Connor has no involvement.
The organisation left him last year. When he disbanded Fathers for Justice, there was no Fathers for Justice to disband. We had already disbanded a long time ago.
To deal with the fallout, Real Fathers activists from all over the country meet in North Tyneside, and some notorious demonstrators are present. Jason Hatch, Batman on Buckingham Palace. Dave Chick, Spider-Man at Tower Bridge. Power in Real Fathers has tilted to the northeast. Mike Kelly from Wallsend heads the collective leadership. They want to dispel reports that the campaign's over.
We're not a dead organisation.
We did take a step back and we left it very quiet for a few months.
We've got to get out there, and we have to get out there fast.
But putting superheroes on buildings may be losing its impact.
The more successful you are, the harder it gets. You know, you've got to top the last stunt, or find other avenues.
So new stunts are in the pipeline.
We'll be launching a new campaign over the Easter period with a new poster. The poster will read, "Not allowed to give your own children Easter eggs, so give them to an MP."
It may already have started. 2 weeks ago, a member pelted the Education Secretary Ruth Kelly with eggs. They claim there's more of this to come. The media says they're finished. Real Fathers say they're very much in business.
We know that being in headlines, front pages, it makes people talk about it. But you'll definitely see some more high-profile stunts.